Hey guys, I'm AJ Casada, and I am so excited for what you're going to learn in this course. First, just to tell you a little bit more about myself and how I got here. I've basically been in lead generation and sales for the last 10 years almost. And how I got started, actually, believe it or not, was in the house painting business. Back in New York where I grew up, I got into the house painting and construction business, and what I would do is I actually had to generate my own leads. I wasn't working for a big company that provided me customers. I didn't have a lot of marketing budget. I was actually 18 when I started my first business. And I had to just learn how to go out and hustle and find customers and get leads myself. So that was really where this all started for me. But what I was actually doing was I was going door to door around Long Island and New York and actually just knocking on people's houses saying, hey, do you want to get your house painted? It was brutal. Don't worry, that's not what you guys are going to learn in this course. I'm going to teach you a much more efficient way that you can do from your computer. But that was really how I got started. I'd have to go around in the winters of New York and spend 6 to 8 hours a day just prospecting, and maybe 1 out of every 100 people would say, yeah, I'd love to get my house painted, come next weekend and give me a price. And what I really learned from that was it was very challenging at first. I had to spend so much time doing it because I didn't know how to leverage technology to do it. But what I learned from that was how to make a pitch. If I was going to talk to someone for only 20 seconds, I had very little time to actually state how I could help them and the value I bring. So it took me a long time to get good at it, but eventually I was able to really, get a lot of business and grow my painting business quite a bit while I was just, a college kid. And what I learned about that was a lot of very important principles that are going to translate to how you guys are going to learn how to generate leads for your business in this course. Now, after I got out of the construction business, my first business after that was a marketing agency called Magic Clicks. And that was really where I learned to do this, in a digital way. Because once I started that business, I was like, I don't want to go door to door anymore. I don't want to have to spend 8 hours on a Saturday bothering people at their home. So I try to think if I could take what I learned about prospecting and generating leads and apply that into digital form. And I could, I learned how to do that with email, with LinkedIn, and all the stuff you guys are going to learn in this course. Because I definitely didn't want to go outside in the really harsh winters of New York and do that anymore. So I built my marketing agency, Magic Clicks, up to a pretty good size just using the stuff that you guys are going to learn in this course. And that was really when I first learned the amazing value of, using LinkedIn and email for prospecting in your business. That was when I had my first aha moment, was when I was actually able to get my first client, not having to leave my house, not having to spend hours and hours going out to meet people in person. And I realized I could do this from anywhere. Now, after building my own marketing agency for a few years, I realized that a lot of other business owners and agency owners struggle with this problem of generating leads. Most of the time when we start a business, we're really good at the craft or the service that we're offering, maybe the technical skill, but nobody teaches you how to get sales. Nobody teaches you how to get leads. Nobody teaches you, how to sell a product if you go to school, right, or university. So I realized that, since I'd spent so much time struggling and figuring this stuff out for myself through trial and error, I was really excited to actually teach this to other people. So a few years ago, while I was building my first marketing agency, Magic Clicks, I was handling all the business development, sales, and lead generation. I had a partner who handled the actual fulfillment and took care of the clients. So I was able to really, really perfect this process. And along the way, a lot of other people in my circle were asking me how can they do this for their own business? So I started teaching them this stuff and realizing along the way how valuable these skills are and how they can be used to grow any business anywhere in the world. And that's when I started Revenue Boost. So Revenue Boost is a consulting company, and we just focus on helping other B2B businesses with learning lead generation, learning outreach, and getting the sales processes in place so that they can scale their business. I truly believe that sales makes the difference between a good company and a great one. You could have the best product or service in the world, but if you can't sell it and if you can't do it consistently, then you're going to really get stuck. So if that's been you, I'm really excited to show you how to get this down so you can have everything that you want out of your business. Now, I definitely struck out a lot along my journey. I've been doing this for almost a decade now, so although I have it pretty much together now as far as how this stuff works, it wasn't the way when I started. I also didn't go to school and get a fancy marketing degree or anything. I actually dropped out of school to go full-time into my own business, the painting business. So don't think that you need to be super tech savvy or have a fancy marketing degree or be a great writer. I was literally none of that. I made every mistake in the book. In this course, we're going to show you how to skip over all that. So no matter who you are or what your background is, you can definitely do this, and I'm super excited to help show you how it's done. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do I keep a positive mindset despite a lot of outreach methods not working? And ultimately, this is a really important thing. You're going to face some rejection no matter what you're selling, and you just have to learn to not let it get to you. For me, what I focus on the most is just practicing, just putting the time in. And I kind of just realized that as long as you're putting the effort in, you'll eventually get results. Even if you're not very good at it, you're going to always run into people that really need what you're offering. So don't worry so much about how you're doing on a day-to-day basis. As long as you can get consistent in the habit of marketing and selling, every week, every month, you'll eventually have a really big business. So my advice to you would be, try to not worry so much about the day-to-day results. Just try to focus on actually getting good at the process and know that eventually, the numbers will come. All right, guys, so what we're going to focus on teaching you in this course is B2B lead generation, specifically outbound prospecting. So I'm going to show you everything I know about using LinkedIn and using email to really get leads and get meetings with whoever you want to work with. So no matter what industry you're working in, no matter what offer you're selling, I'm going to teach you how to use LinkedIn and email to actually get these people's attention through direct outreach and get meetings with them so that you can actually make some sales. You'll learn everything from the targeting, the messaging, the software, and the tools that I use to make this whole process way more efficient. And ultimately, you have a very valuable skill set that you can use to grow your business to any level. You could easily grow your business to $50,000 a month plus by just doing this without getting into a bunch of other marketing strategies. It's a very, very reliable and consistent method. And again, it's something that anyone can do. Awesome, guys. So a few things to keep in mind is, I'm going to be teaching you how to master this skill, but ultimately, no one's going to do this for you. This is a process that you're going to have to learn and put the time in. But I promise you, if you follow this course step by step and put the time in, you will see some amazing results in your business. But you have to put the work in, right? I am going to show you a lot of shortcuts and a lot of ways to be more efficient with this, but ultimately, there's no get-rich-quick scheme here. You just got to put the time in to hone the skill. Now, a really important thing here is to be very persistent and very patient. This definitely applies to the lead generation methods, but I'd say in general, one of the most important things I learned in business is to be persistent. Some of the most successful people I know, they just never gave up. They just stuck with it, and they were very, very patient. Because no matter what, when you're learning a new skill, it's going to take some time to get it down, right? Again, I've been at this for almost 10 years. So it's going to take a lot of time to get it down pat. Just make sure that you don't worry so much about how it goes in the first week or two. Just focus on getting better. Just focus on keep doing it. No matter what you do, it's going to take some time to really get the hang of it. Imagine you're trying to improve your fitness, right? You can't go to the gym for 2 days and then be like, where's my six-pack, right? So it's going to take some time. Just, try to enjoy the process as much as you can. And just know that if you follow the process, the results will come. One of the reasons I'm so excited to teach you guys this is because this skill set is so, so valuable. When you really get lead generation and sales down, you can do anything. No matter what business that you're in now, you can take these same skills and maybe later you start another business and you can apply it to that too. But if you can learn how to get leads and how to make sales, you can make any business grow. And it's very, very exciting. So this is a skill set that not only is going to help you in your current venture, but this is a skill set that's going to help you for your entire life, right? Again, no matter what you do, if you know how to actually get leads, get meetings with people that you want to work with and close deals, then you'll be set to do anything. It's actually a very, very powerful skill, and I'm really, really looking forward to showing you how it's done. And also to give you a little bit of motivation, we do the same stuff in our own business as well. When I started Revenue Boost, now granted, I had refined the skill over a lot of time by this point, but just to show you what's possible, when I started Revenue Boost, our consulting company, we actually generated over $100,000 in sales in just the first 3 months of launching the business, doing exactly what I'm going to teach you guys in this course. So imagine that, generating over 6 figures before actually spending $1 on ads. We didn't, pay to be in any magazines. We didn't pay for any media. We didn't run any ads. I just basically did exactly what I'm going to show you in this course, and it was able to really work. So again, I wouldn't expect those results off the bat because obviously you're a little bit new to this, but just to show you how possible it is and how we actually apply this in our own business in the day-to-day, and it works amazing. So anything can be possible once you get this down, and looking forward to showing you. All right, guys, so that's a little bit about me. Can't wait to teach you this skill, and we got a lot to cover, so let's dive in.